Matt Horn. Hi, Matt. Says, my girlfriend and I are traveling to Scotland in the fall. I'm definitely going to bring a tailored kilt or two with me, but I was also wondering about taking a great kilt. I know kilts aren't often worn daily and are usually worn by tourists. Would a great kilt look a little trying too hard? A la, oh, look at the American who watched Outlander and thinks he's Jamie Fraser. Or would it get more or less the same reaction as a modern tailored kilt? Or something completely different?
Sure.
Should you wear a great kilt on vacation to Scotland?
On vacation to Scotland, the way that the general public is going to interpret your dress when you're wearing either a great kilt or a regular kilt in diaspora countries. So let's say, America, Canada, Australia, Germany, South Africa, those kind of things, versus Scotland is going to be very different. It's going to be perceived differently. If you are in South Africa or you're in America wearing a kilt, when someone comes across you, their immediate reaction is going to be, oh, that guy must have Scottish heritage. Or if you're wearing a great kilt, oh, that guy must be doing a reenactment of some kind. They may equate it in that way. If you're in Scotland, it's either going to be, oh, that's a tourist who's expressing their heritage, or they're a tour guide who happens to be giving an Outlander tour. So it depends on where you are, how you're going to be perceived. If you are in Scotland and you want to be perceived in that way, and I'm thinking great kilt being worn in a traditional great kilt manner, not in like a contemporary t-shirt manner.
Okay.
We can talk about that as well.
Yeah, I think that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would say that you're gonna have, you have to be okay with being perceived as a tourist or someone who's just having fun with it in a particular way. Erik, what are your thoughts while I continue to hone mine?
Yeah, my thoughts are not going to be too different. I'm sorry. I do think, despite the statistics, I do think that there are more guys wearing kilts in Scotland now as enthusiasts, shall we say. We've always known a few, like our old friend Jock Scott, who's one of the old timers on the old X Marks the Scot forum, who do wear kilted attire, Highland attire, tweeds and all, in a very gentlemanly way. That's their lifestyle. But if you're walking around in Edinburgh, yeah, they're going to think you're either a tourist or a tour guide. And as soon as you're up in your mouth and they hear that New Jersey accent of yours, they're going to know you're not a tour guide. And if you're wearing a great kilt, I think they're either going to think you're a street performer or a street musician. Like some of you guys know this, but the band Albanoch was originally members of, was it Clan na Drama?
Clan na Drama, yeah.
Clan na Drama, who still perform. And they are a street performing band, and they get up there either with t-shirts or topless in great kilts, and they go drum their drums and stuff. And somebody's going to think...
Just like that.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Not disparaging them at all.
They're going to think
okay, that was disparaging.
No, that's just how I play the drums. So...
Big monkey man to channel my specials.
Yeah. No ska during a fight
today.
Okay, so I don't recommend it. I really don't. I was trying to think about this and I thought maybe you could make an exception if you really just love wearing your great kilt. Maybe if you're doing a hill walk, if you're going hiking in the wilderness and it doesn't matter what people are looking at, and you just like some of us do, hiking in a kilt or just wearing a great kilt modernly for the comfort and all that, then okay. But if you're in the city, I really wouldn't do it. But consider the source. If I'm going to go to Edinburgh, it's very likely I'm going to be in tweeds and a tie the whole time. Okay, I would have a hard time, especially if I went representing our company. I would have a really hard time dressing down. That's just the way I am. Okay, but if I were out in the evening clubbing, if I was out in the rural areas hiking or something, I think there's a lot more room to move there. So you know what I mean? You could take it, but I'd really think about how you're feeling that day and what the crowd you're going to be encountering is like that day. And you got to be on, man. You got to be
yeah.
prepared for a lot of attention, a lot of reactions. You got to be prepared to perform if you're going to do this.
I would also say it depends on your reason and your thoughts on visiting a country. If when I go to Scotland, or when you go to Scotland, are you going to visit historical sites of your ancestors, or are you going to do that plus visit current day Scottish sites? Are you trying to get a sense of what their current day culture is, or is it a history tour? Which lens, do you have on? If I'm going to Scotland to a trade show and I want to find the coolest restaurant in Inverness, or if I want to find the best hipstery bar in Oban or Fort William or wherever I'm going, you will stick out like a sore thumb and get kind of like weird looks from people, or not necessarily weird looks, but you're going to get looks from people because you are dressed different. When I would go, I would want to, like I always say, if you go to a hotel, ask the people who live there, where do the locals go? Don't tell me what the tourist places are. I don't want to see the Royal Mile in Edinburgh. I want to know the coolest bar in a weird part of the city where people don't go. It's only where the locals go. That's what I want to experience. Those are the moments that I want to have, is seeing that. Or when you went to Ireland to Doolin, where's the best, where's the best traditional session music night tonight? Where should I go to see that? Not downtown shopping district thing necessarily. Or if you want to go to the history and see the history stuff, then that's fine too. That said, if you wear kilts every day, so I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth here. If you wear kilts every single day, if you wear a great kilt, if you're Jonathan Kennedy and you wear it in a contemporary way with a t-shirt and specific style of boots, and it's just your vibe, that's who you are as a human, then sure, do it. No one is going to, lambast you and kick you out of the country for doing it. You're just going to get the same amount of attention you probably get here in the States or there in Canada or wherever over there, but they are going to be seeing it through a different lens than the people in your hometown do. The people in your hometown are going to say, okay, you're doing this for this reason, or he must be Scottish or have Scottish heritage. Over there, they're going to think of you in a different way, and it's just specifically in Scotland. So they're going to be thinking of you in a different way. So it's just understanding that they are going to see it through a different lens than people in your location do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you just touched on one other factor worth mentioning or worth putting a point on is a subculture identity. If you're wearing that gray kilt or that kilt and you've got full sleeve tattoos and you're wearing a muscle shirt and you got funky hair and you got earrings, hi John, talking about you. People are going to assume it's some kind of an artist subculture, probably heavy metal kind of a vibe. Yeah. You are an individualist and so you may get that, in which case they're just going to look at you like they would any other punk in some kind of subcultural gear. If you wear your typical tourist casual, don't care if it gets wrinkled in a suitcase t-shirt and your hiking sneakers, and your boonie hat because you don't want to get a sunburn, that's going to send a different message. Context is king. I would say you could bring it, but I would make it the least of the things you worry about packing, because I think it'd be more trouble than it's worth personally. I think tailored kilts are going to be a lot easier to deal with in a lot of ways. So
I agree. Good point.
But if you do it, show us pictures.
Yeah. Cheers. So tell me in the comments, would you wear a kilt in Scotland if you were going there as a tourist? That's what I want to know.